Hello, you're watching one of Shenae and Nita's weekly videos. I'm Shenae.
And I'm Nita.
And this week we're talking about pole saws when pruning fruit trees, say in a commercial sense, home gardeners, or you just have a little hobby garden outside. So this week we just ranging from the different pole saws.
So let's get into it. So we want to show you some of the smaller, lighter, really easy to use pole saws in the Silky Saw range. So these are the saws that are made in Japan. So we'd like to start off showing you the lightest of all of them, which is the Zubat.
The Zubat 2.7 is what Nita has in her hand, and this one weighs about 1.4 kilos. So it collapse like what Nita's holding is 1.7 meters. And then, yeah, as I said, this extends to 2.7, which is great to just have it in the shed, or when you are driving in a commercial sense, driving through your little fruit trees, you have
doesn't take up too much space. Yeah. So the Silky Saws are all beautiful, made beautifully, the best quality materials, the just best design for technology at the time. So they're a beautiful tool to use. Now, as Shenae mentioned, this one here is this size, but it goes all the way up to 2.7 meters, which is great. Gives you that option, but they're telescopic, so the poles are held within themselves. So they have a clamp here that holds the two poles. In this case, the saw has two poles in place, and then it has a button that also holds them together. So to extend this pole saw, you simply press that button and lift the pole with this lever open, and then you just extend that until the next button will pop through that hole, and then close that lever, which is a really important thing to do. And then that, gives you a longer length than the roof in our showroom. But that's how the pole saws extend. So all of the pole saws that we're showing you today are telescopic, so they all extend like this. And the other neat thing with them is they all have a unique sort of oval shape. Now, depending on which pole it is, they're actually slightly different, but it's basically like an oval shape. And what this does is it gives the pole stability. You can see they don't bend and flex, which is really important. It makes it much easier to use the pole saw when they're a stable, strong pole rather than a bendy, flexy one. It's like fishing rather than using a nice strong stick. So that's how the Zubat pole saw extends. Now, quite a unique feature about the Zubat pole saw is you can turn this into a hand saw if you want a really good pruning saw, as well as a pole saw option. But because Silky are really committed to really good quality, high quality tools, they don't make anything that sort of quickly snaps on and snaps off, because they tend to snap. So everything is held very securely. So the blade is a full tang blade, which is really important. That gives it extra strength and also flexibility. So that blade goes all the way into this part of the collar here, and then it's held in place with metal screws. So to turn this into a hand saw, you need to undo those two screws, pull them out obviously, pull the blade out in this kind of direction because the tang is actually curved, and then you slide it into, slide it into a handle like this here that you will have previously purchased. So you just slide it in and then put those same two screws in the handle here, and then you've got a great hand saw. The scabbard that the pole saw comes with has this special sort of loopy system here that locks onto this here, I think it is, around this part here, and that holds it in place. So if you're, as Shenae mentioned before, driving around in the ute or something and you've got this in there, the case is not going to come off. But you can use that same case when you turn it into a hand saw, and it still locks in. And if you don't want that on, it's great. They've made it so you can just pull that off and it's removable. And you can even buy the one that normally comes with the Zubat when you have it in a hand saw situation. And with this one, you can slide your belt through it or put a D-clip through it, or a carabiner. So quite versatile, the options you have with that sort of belt loop or the connector loop. But a neat pole saw that you can use both in a hand saw and a pole saw situation. The next one we want to show you is the Forester. So the Forester, doing a bit of a switchy here. Shenae's trying to work out how to read my mind while we do this. What is she going to grab next?
So the Forester that Nita is holding is 3.3 meters, and it's available two different blade
poles
lengths,
yes.
which goes to a 4.5. But this 3 meter one collapse is 1.7 meters, and it only weighs about 1.7, so slightly heavier than the Zubat, but
still quite lightweight.
Yeah.
And just like the Zubat, it's telescopic, but in this case, this one has 3 poles. So the Zubat we just showed you has 2 poles. This one has 3, so that's why you've got 2 connectors here holding the 3 poles together. So same as the Zubat, you open up those levers, press the button and pull it out as far as you want. And then the same with this. So you've got 3 poles here that can extend, which gives you that option of the higher final length. But also gives you a bit more versatility if you wanted to go somewhere between that starting length and end length, because you've got the 3 poles, you have more option there. Yeah. The Forester is the same as the Zubat in that you can turn this one into a handsaw as well if you want. So again, same sort of locking system as the Zubat, where this black lever locks over that round section. So you would simply take the scabbard off, same screws, same pull it out, and put it into a handle, and then that is what it would look like as a handsaw. Now, one of the really advantageous things about the Zubat and the Forester is the style of tooth that they have. These saws are designed to give an incredibly smooth cut. So for fruit trees, they tend to be more temperamental than other trees in Australia, and they're more prone to disease and getting a bit upset. So it is important to give a nice clean cut when pruning your fruit trees, and both of these pole saws, whether they're in the pole style or the handsaw style, will give a super smooth cut. If you've never used a Silky before, you'll be blown away by how beautiful the cut is. It'll look like you've sanded the branch after you cut it. It's that silky smooth. Has the pun. But yeah, no, the most beautiful finished cut. And the other bonus with a cut like that is it feels really easy to do. So whoever's doing the pruning is not going to feel like they're working very hard, because these saws are designed to do the work for you. They will dig into the branch really, really easily, and gravity is the only pressure they need. So you don't need to physically push into those teeth or yank really hard on the pole. It'll just easily cut through it. And we get emails constantly from people saying, oh, it feels like I'm cutting through butter. It's just amazing. So they're a really, really nice pole saw to use. The next one we're going to look at is a saw called a long boy.
So the long boy is the only pole saw in the Silky range that the blade folds over, basically. So this makes it nice and compact, and leaving it with being compact size is 1.4 meters. So great for throwing in the back of the ute. But this one is slightly heavier than the Forester and the Zubat, which is 2.1 kilos. So still really, really light, but still really, really, what's that word? I can't remember.
The reason this one is a bit heavier though is does it go to a higher length? I think it does.
Yeah, this one goes to 3.6 meters.
Yeah, so that extra weight you're getting is because you've got extra height in the pole. This one here, we also put the hook fox on it to show you an optional attachment. Now this can be put on any of the pole saws. So the purpose of this hook is to basically pull things out of the tree or maneuver things. So it's like a maneuvering device. So if you, I don't know, wanted to put a rope or something in the tree, you can move it around with that hook. Or if there's dead branches that are caught up in the tree, this is great for pulling those out. Some people will use the blade of a saw to do that, but that can sort of compromise it or break it or damage it. I'm probably putting this in Shenae's face while I'm doing this video, sorry.
Really kissing to mine.
So that's what the hook is for, and that can go on any of the pole saws. So when you buy the long boy, don't be surprised, it won't come with this hook. That's an optional attachment that you can put on them.
But it's super cheap as well. It's only about $44. So
yeah.
Saves you a blade.
And we didn't put it very tight, that's why it's wriggling around and making all that noise. Did it very quick before the video. But one of the very, very cool things with this pole saw, as Shenae mentioned, is the blade actually folds. So this has a case which locks onto the pole there, so it doesn't fall off. But the blade itself actually folds over like a hand saw folding saw. But this is a folding saw blade. And pole saw. So it just locks up like that, like a folding saw would.
Yeah.
And you can tighten this screw here so that you don't bang this accidentally on a branch and cause the blade to come out of the lock. So safe. And effective, you know, it's going to work very well, it's not going to be annoying, but you have that compactness, which is great, of the blade folding over and making the whole unit much smaller. Same as the other two, it's telescopic, so the clamps, you open them up, press the pin, pull it out. Same system, same great sort of style of the oval shaped pole, tweaked a little bit to the other ones, but still same concept, doesn't bend and flex, really, really good. So that is your long boy.
Yes. And the next one, last but not least, is the Hayachi, and this one is available in a 3.7 meters, so collapsed. It is only 2.2 meters, and then extended is 3.7. With this version, we've attached to the lopper. So this is a ratchet lopper that it's only It's only attachment for the Hayachi pulse saw.
So this one also comes with a blade. So when you buy it, you get this one here with it. Now the benefit of that blade is it's very big, so very fast cutting. The longer the blade, the faster you cut. But it also has a tooth, which is a very, very fast cutting tooth. Now, as far as fruit trees goes, it's not as nice a cut as the other 3 pole saws that we've been talking about. But if you're just wanting to heavily prune and you're considering using a chainsaw, then this is a much better option. So it's going to give a better cut than a chainsaw is going to give, but nothing like the 3 pole saws that we've just shown you. So that's something to bear in mind. The lopper, however, if you do need a lopper, is brilliant and works really, really well. And as Shenae said, it's a ratchet lopper. So that makes using it much, much easier. Normally with a lopper, you have to pull it so far, you actually run out of arm length. And you end up like wrapping the rope around your hand or tying knots in it and sort of doing this quick let go and grab system. So with this, you don't have to worry about any of that because it's got this great ratchet system here that will simply, once it bites into the branch, it will hold, and then you lift the what is it called, rope back up again, and it'll lock into the next system and keep cutting. So it's simply a matter of you very short, sort of lifting the arm up and down, and works really well. And it's got really good strength to it because loppers tend to break really easily. So this is really quite good. I mean, it's not indestructible, but it really does cope with a lot of work, and it gets through a lot of different types of timber, so it's quite good. Now, we looked at the weights, which you mentioned before. So I think, did we mention the difference between the blade and the lopper?
Yeah, there's only, I think it was 700 grams difference between the lopper, but the lopper's slightly heavier and it's only 1.4 kilos.
Yeah, so that the lopper just adds that little bit of extra weight than the one Shenae mentioned initially, which comes with the blade.
The smart move.
Yeah, but the lopper is brilliant, so if you need to use a lopper, it's really, really good. But as Shenae said, just attaches to the Hayachi. Now the Hayachi, again, same as the other pole saws, oval kind of shape, telescopic, so this case you've got 2 poles that are sliding within each other, and you've still got the button and the clamp that holds them in place. But the great thing with Silky is you get quality. So if you need a pole saw for your fruit trees, those 4, I'm trying to think now the ones I showed you, the 4 pole saws that we've showed you are all great for fruit trees. They aren't too tall, so if your trees are shorter, they aren't going to be heavier and weightier than they need to be. But those first 3 give the beautiful smooth cut. This one gives you fast cut, and you've got the wonderful lopper attachment.
So when it comes to cleaning your Silky Saws, we recommend 2 products. So the easy cleaning product and the lanolin spray. So the lanolin spray you can get at your local hardware, but we sell the easy cleaner at our warehouse and shop here. So it's great for removing sap, and being 100% natural with a tea tree based oil, it's a great antibacterial spray.
Which is good when we're talking fruit trees, because like we said before, prevention of disease is kind of what we all want to do.
Yes.
So having a cleaner that we know is going to help you sterilise and create the antibacterial surface is really, really good.
Yeah.
The other product we have, if you don't want to use the lanolin, is camellia oil. So you can also put this on your tools to help prevent rust, because prevention of rust is really important on any of your saws, or secateurs in that case, or any of your tools.
And loppers.
Yeah, because as soon as you get rust built up on there, it's going to blunten the saw and it's not going to work as efficiently. So I know it's a bit of a pain maintenance, but maintenance will keep your products working better and lasting longer. So that's what we recommend, and that's another option you have. So we hope you've enjoyed today's video. We hope it's helped out if you're looking for a new pole saw to use around your fruit trees.
Yeah.
These, you can't go wrong. They're beautiful, they work incredibly, and you're going to love them.
Yes. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and like our video if you enjoyed this video, and you can leave a comment. That is all from us this week, and enjoy your week.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.